How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the UKnowAdamTsang podcast. It's your host, Adam Tsang, and today I'm super excited to be launching a new segment of my show called the Day One Entrepreneur, where I get an opportunity to speak with up-and-coming entrepreneurs in the game, getting ready to get their feet wet. And today, I have Monterro on the show. Monterro, introduce yourself.
Monterro Boyd II from Atlanta, Georgia, Etnom Spray. We're a pesticide application company down here in Statesboro. We're starting out down here in Statesboro, but we're eventually going to travel up to Atlanta.
Okay.
Basically what we do is we come into your establishment, whether it be a restaurant, home, church, anywhere. Basically, we could just come in and spray for bugs, spray for any kind of pest, sanitize. Basically, right now we know that the COVID pandemic is pretty big right now. And so our main focus is to really just get all the cabinets, all the countertops, all the seats, everywhere that people are usually, are at, and we're going to just sanitize. We're just going to...
So let's slow it down a second. Let's kind of like take it from the beginning.
Okay.
So, Monterro, you are currently a student at Georgia Southern?
Yes.
Very nice. And what year are you?
I'm senior.
A senior. And you decided when to start your pest control business?
This year, actually, not too long ago, a couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so you've been doing it now for how long?
Basically, for a total of 2 months.
Okay. And the name of the company?
Etnom Spray.
How'd you arrive at that name?
My first name is Monty, and Monty spelled backwards is Etnom.
Okay,
so, yeah.
All right. Little reverse of the script right there. I like it.
Innovation.
Very nice, very nice. And then, so what is the core of the business? You mentioned something about Atlanta and having some business up there. What's that kind of all about?
Yeah. So, well, as you can see right now, I have on my primary business up there, and it's Lawn Creations. It's a landscape maintenance company up there. It's family owned.
Your family?
Yeah, my family owned. Well, basically, we just we do residential and commercial business or commercial lawn maintenance.
Okay.
And
How big is that company?
it's pretty big. And right now we have a lot of MARTA, a lot of Fayette County, a lot of Fulton County. Basically, we just maintain the lawn, maintain the outside, plant flowers, do all kinds of lawn maintenance.
And so that's kind of like your background, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
And when did your family, I guess, first start getting into that? Or has that always been there?
2003.
2003. So
Yeah.
about 17 years now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you grew up in it. You saw kind of, I guess, your parents hustle
Yes.
behind there.
Yes.
And that kind of like, I guess, led you to down this path of entrepreneurship.
Most definitely.
We actually first met where?
The
Eagle-
EES.
What is that?
Eagle Executive Society. It's a business organization here on campus for all aspiring entrepreneurs, aspiring corporate America, people that want to go in that industry. And basically what we do, we come together, we try to talk about things that we can better ourselves in, try to bring other people in, bring other students into the organization, and try to, bring out their professionalism, creativity, all that kinds of stuff.
That's very cool. So I think the talk that I did there with Paul Newman, who's a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
We kind of brought some of our experiences, our life experiences, things that we've been doing to the organization, and then that's when we first met. And
Right.
I remember speaking with you at that time, but at that point in time, this company had not been created yet, correct?
No, not at all.
What has led you to kind of like go down that direction?
Recently I got into, kind of a interesting pesticide application, because right now the moment I work at the Georgia Southern Botanical Garden.
You do?
Yes.
I remember this, yeah.
Yes, and right now we work outside with all kinds of landscape, all kinds of everything, and I'm already embedded in.
Okay.
And so basically, I just want to expand on it and try to capitalize on the skills that I already have.
Gotcha.
And right now, currently, I'm a business entrepreneurship major here at Georgia Southern. And right now, I feel like I have a lot of skills, a lot of information that I have that I really would like to apply to my field.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What is the one thing? So usually when I think about business, there's usually one thing that the company does that far exceeds everybody else, which gives them that edge. What would you say is your company's edge?
Well, right now, as you can imagine, we're sitting in the middle of Georgia Southern University. And so we come in contact with a lot of my peers, a lot of kids here that encounter a lot of bug problems in the dorms and off-campus dorms. You know, even at Orient Express, one of my favorite restaurants to go to around here, around the school, and they have a lot of bug problems, and they can't afford the big-time commercial insecticide companies. And so what we do, we try to cater to those kids. We try to cater to that demographic.
Got you.
And so I feel like, for me personally, our company, we have an advantage in terms that, you know, we're going to cater to your price. We're obviously going to come to your dorm, come to your room, come to your establishment, offer top-notch customer service, any kind of information that you may need, we're there to provide. Yeah, that's pretty much what we offer.
So affordability is a cornerstone.
Most definitely.
You're working with kind of like these smaller businesses.
Yeah.
Have you studied the market at all before you launched? Was it kind of like, hey, I'm just going to go into it, or what was your considerations there?
Yeah, so with the market, basically, I was already embedded in the market down here in Georgia, so that I worked with another guy that kind of goes back and forth from South Carolina and works down here in Georgia, works down here with residents here in Statesboro.
Got you.
And I kind of talked to him, and I kind of shopped around and talked to a lot of different guys that were in that industry, and basically got their insight on what I should do. And they told me the odds were particularly in my favor right now.
Really?
Yeah, especially with people being at home with the quarantine and all that. They're gonna need people don't want their people's incomes are not coming in right now.
That's right.
And so they're gonna need a little bit cheaper, you know, services. It's something that they can afford for their home, because they're gonna be sitting at their home for a long time. And they told me basically that what I offer would probably be legitimate.
So step one, obviously, is market research, right?
Yeah.
You studied the market. You
Yeah.
figured out who the big players were.
Yeah.
In fact, I think you took one step ahead of that, and you also looked at, you know, you spoke to them and asked them their price offering, and figuring out if there was a market for you.
Right.
What was the step after that? So, like, you know, when I think about pest control, like, I have no idea. Like, you're obviously not going to Walmart buying like bug spray and then going to the houses and spraying them down, right? So, how does one take that next step in figuring out what specific products you are offering?
Product research.
Okay.
Most definitely, yeah. So basically, you know, in the application and all that, basically what you have to do, you have to get a registered application certification. So obviously I had to do a whole bunch of studying, I have to do a whole bunch of research, I have to do a whole bunch of experience, have to have hours in order to get this certification. So I personally believe for this industry, you have to have a lot of experience.
Okay.
In terms of, you have to go out and actually work with the chemicals, because you're working with chemicals that are restricted, federal restricted.
Okay.
And so it could get dangerous.
Okay.
And so what I feel like, if you're going to go into this industry, the most important thing for you to do is really just research your product. Okay. And in terms of Etnom Spray, like I said, we already had a lot of domain knowledge coming from the background that I came from.
Understood.
Yeah. And so I just...
So is this your own venture? You mentioned someone that was traveling from South Carolina back to Statesboro, back and forth.
Yeah.
Is this a joint venture between the two of you, or is this you by yourself?
This is me by myself. I just asked him for advice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So having someone that is engrossed in that industry, I think, is extremely valuable,
Most
right?
definitely.
They can give you kind of like insight and knowledge that maybe, you know, a person off the street can't.
Yeah.
For you, what is kind of like the dream of this company that you're building right now?
Yeah, so the dream of the end goal of this company is to eventually merge with Lawn Creations.
Understood.
And Lawn Creations right now is already an established, you know, entity, as I've already mentioned. And so basically what the end goal is for Etnom and Lawn Creations to come together and basically just maintain the Metro Atlanta area.
Okay.
That's the end goal.
Very nice. So let's take it back a little bit. So now we've kind of like hit on the business a lot.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about kind of like your background. You know, you grew up in Atlanta.
Yeah. And
then you, like, what were you into? Were you into sports, like high school? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, so basically I grew up in like you said, Atlanta. I grew up in playing football, baseball, basketball, all kinds of, you know, I was into sports. We were in the church. We just spent a lot of family time together. And going along with that, I spent a lot of time with my father. And my father really just propelled me into this industry. He did this.
Mm-hmm.
He started off at Atlanta Gas, being a gas man, changing the gas meters on the sides of houses, to having a Cadillac
Mm-hmm.
and having the trailer behind the Cadillac and just pulling the equipment along with him, just going along cutting houses on his off time.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen how hard he worked and the things that he put into his company, and he really changed into something special. And I felt like, well, if he did this in this amount of time with the effort that he put in, there's no excuse for me not to. And it's something I honestly and truly love.
Mm-hmm.
I love being outside. I love being in the garden. I love being around the trees. I love being around the vegetation. I just my main goal for doing this whole thing is the end product. I love the end product.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people speak about the process. The process is very important, but the process is worthless if you have nothing you're working toward.
Understood.
So I truly fall in love with the end product.
Mm-hmm.
That's just that's how I've always went about it.
Yeah, can you recall any memories you had when you were growing up? Kind of like, I guess you were working alongside your dad a lot, right? Do you have any memories that stand out for you?
Yeah. Basically, like I just mentioned earlier, we had that Cadillac pulling the trailer behind the Cadillac. I thought that, I think that's amazing. Just seeing how hard and how dedicated and how persevered he was. He persevered a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and he went through a lot, and he most definitely earned what he has right now, and it's just amazing to see. And I can specifically think about one time when we were out there in 110-degree heat, and we're out there working at someone's house. We're dying out there. We're just persevering. We just keep going until that 7 o'clock time bell hits.
Mm-hmm.
And you fall like I said, you fall in love with the end product.
How old were you when he started putting you to work?
9.
9 years old. What were
9.
you doing at 9 years old?
Just basically walking behind a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, helping them out, change the blades, and work on the mowers, working on the equipment, going along from door to door with him, passing out business cards, advertising, all kinds of stuff.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point at age 9? Because youth these days, there's a lot of times that we want to play. We want to go out and have fun.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time that you can think of that you were like, oh man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to work.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
walk me through that, right?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was often, almost every weekend. I didn't have a weekend. I didn't have summer vacation. I didn't have these things that, like you said, most kids have today or even back then. I was always working. So it became a way of life. It became a lifestyle for me, and it's still the way of life and a lifestyle for me today. Mm-hmm. And so basically, I complained about it, but I got over it, at a young age. I just figured, like, this is the way life is. Mm-hmm. This isn't just how, this is my dad being mean to me. This isn't a punishment. This is the way it is. And so I need to, if I were to be smart about this, I would really just go ahead and get used to it.
That's right.
And I know it's going to pay off one day, because I seen it pay off for plenty of people, including my father. So, in my mind, I just know it's going to benefit me one day. So I just try my best not to complain about it and just do it,
That's cool. That's cool. So let's kind of like, bring it back to what you're doing in Statesboro right now. Currently, how many clients does your company have?
Well, we're just starting now. We don't have too many clients at the moment. We're still in the advertising stage. We're still trying to get our company out there. We're trying to get our name out there. We're trying to get noticed. Mm-hmm. So right now we don't have too many clients. But I can tell you that we do have, the manpower. We do have the equipment. We do have everything we need to get the job done. And
Understood.
I can promise you that Etnom Spray is a reliable pesticide company.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Have you, talk to me about the advertising strategy.
Right.
What specifically are you doing?
Well, right now I have a lot of flyers. I actually have business cards that I definitely want to give to you right now. I have a lot of peers on campus, word of mouth, websites, all kinds of things that I'm working on at the moment, because like I said, it's new, very new. And right now, in the midst of school, in the midst of the pandemic, and, carrying on a business, right now I'm just trying to take it day by day.
Understood.
Yeah.
The logo itself, walk me through kind of like the design considerations for that.
Yeah, it's a spray bottle.
Uh-huh.
Basically, what I'm trying to convey is the message I'm trying to convey is the pesticides inside the spray bottle.
Okay.
So we had like 3 or 4 designs, and one of the designs, the A in spray, was the spray bottle.
Okay.
So we just try to emphasize creativity.
Understood.
Basically.
And then you mentioned a lot about COVID. So, during this period of time when, COVID is such a huge thing
Yeah.
for us, what type of services are you offering that kind of like help with keeping a place clean?
Well, mainly the sanitation service. So we have a very, very, very sophisticated sanitation solution that we use you can use on countertops, wood, marble, any kinds of material, any kinds of surface, anything, rock, granite. You can apply on any kind of surface.
It doesn't, harm anything?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't deteriorate anything. It doesn't fade the color. It mainly just cleans thoroughly.
Okay.
You scrub it in. You apply it with the sprayer here, and yeah, basically, just a sanitation solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then with that solution, is it a chemical that, like is harmful to the body at all? Because
Not at
I
all.
know like with chemicals, it's
Yeah.
usually kind of like there is a concern of, bleach is not something that you want on your skin,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. All the solutions that Etnom Spray uses are, they're not harmful to the animals. They're not harmful to humans. They're only harmful to the pest that it's targeted.
Okay, well, I was going
Yeah.
to say, I want it to be harmful to the insects,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Most definitely. It's most definitely just meant for the targeted pests.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. What other things would you like us to know about Etnom?
Well, mainly on the solution behalf, touching back on can it be harmful to pets or animals or humans is not. Actually, the solution that I use, it can be used for your animals to spray for ticks, fleas. The only thing you can't really use it on is vegetation. It's not a herbicide; it's an insecticide. It's mainly for pests.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. What can I do for you?
Well, my main thing right now, like I said earlier, is to get my name out there. It's to
Sure.
get marketed. Is to learn a lot about the business aspect of what I'm doing. You understand what I'm saying? The professionalism of it.
Sure.
And I really need some guidance. I basically, I just need guidance. I need more so of like a mentor type thing. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
So, when you first approached me, it was over the understanding of like, oh, can I earn your business?
Yeah.
I've developed, and this is one of the things that you're going to fight against, and I'm gonna kind of like break that down. The first thing is like I've developed relationships with my like service providers, right? So I use Pest Masters. I know the owner by name, and then also for flies, I actually use somebody else.
Okay.
His name is Thomas.
Right.
I call him the fly guy.
Right.
Because for flies, he's able to kind of like take care of all of that. One of the challenges that you have is you have to be able to find people that either have some sort of need, some sort of problem,
Right.
or you can offer them a better solution, or you can fight on price. Price is a huge one, man.
Most
Like
definitely.
if you're able to go in there and you say, okay, right now this is what you pay for, but I can do it for less.
Yeah.
That within itself holds weight. Now, I wouldn't undercut it heavily.
Right.
Like you don't want to go so much. You want to do enough. So there's a balance there. You want to do enough where they take attention to it. That you're like, oh, I'm listening now.
Right.
But you don't want to do it so far that you can't make money from it. That's not a responsible business. So you have to have like some sort of strategy there. I actually think that your hand in hand business model of working with lawn is actually really interesting, because if this is a service that you are already planning on partnering back up with Lawn Creations at some point.
Right.
What if this was a service that you could actually offer with the lawn care specialists inside the Statesboro area?
Yeah.
Those people have the reputation. You say, hey, look, this is just the service that you add on top of it. You make money. You don't have to even do anything. You
Right.
just kind of like let me go in there.
Right.
I think that might be an interesting pairing between the two.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think continuing to market your name, getting like meeting business owners. I think you did a great job, especially just reaching out to me. You just said, hey, this is something new that I started. Would love to kind of like get in front of you, talk to you, so forth and so on.
Yeah.
And then just keep on going down that route. Any plans for like I guess marketing strategies in regards to social media or anything like that?
Yeah, so right now we're gonna work on getting a Twitter page and an Instagram page, LinkedIn.
Why Twitter?
Well, Twitter mainly is in my opinion, one of the biggest social media platforms out there, and a lot of people out there are gonna see what we have to offer, especially around the Georgia Southern Statesboro area, and yeah, that's mainly what our target is. But we want to get a website going.
Sure.
We would definitely want to get a website going. We want to get, when you search up insecticide or pesticide application, you see Etnom Spray on the list.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Very nice.
yeah.
So currently, you don't have a website.
No.
Do you have any sort of social media? You said you have a Twitter already?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Twitter, I think, is relatively easy to set up.
Yeah,
The
it is.
strategy there is how I'm not a big Twitter guy.
Yeah.
Are businesses looking for, I guess, like business connections on Twitter? Would you say?
I personally, I think so.
Okay.
I do think so. I do think so because, for instance, my girlfriend right now, she works at Accenture. She just got an offer to Accenture, and before that, she was interning at Stuckey's.
Okay.
Stuckey's was on Instagram. Okay, but it's just a lot. They're also,
I'm not familiar with those brands.
well, Stuckey, it's like a peanut pecan type thing.
Okay.
And they kind of like, I guess they're going around and it's truck stops.
Okay.
They're truck stops in the side of like in the country towns and all that.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
And so she found everything through Twitter.
Yeah.
Understood.
Networking.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
I will say, I think that the strongest move that you mentioned earlier is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I really think that is kind of the center of a lot of what's happening in the business world, just
Right.
because like it's a very professional type of platform.
Yeah.
I would also say on top of that is that if you can position yourself as an educator, and we talk about this often, is like it's a position of power.
Yeah.
So if today you're kind of like giving out, I say giving out. So you go on some sort of social media and you present this idea of like, okay, if you're having trouble with flies, these are some home remedies.
Right.
You're giving away that content in theory for free, and you're in theory potentially like hurting, quote unquote, like hurting your business.
Yeah.
But it creates a sense of trust, so that down the line, once I think about, hey, I have a problem that I can't take care of.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to call such and such, because they know what's going on.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
So like coming at it with some sort of strategy in that way, I think would be huge. What other avenues do you think that you're going to pursue, or is that kind of like the strategy right now?
Yeah. So basically, like I said earlier, we want to a lot of things. I love working outside.
Sure.
So in terms of going into pressure washing, maybe arboring, maybe anything that, planting. Well, I already do, botanic work, but anything that pertains to being outside, I basically want to have an interest in, any kind of landscape to retaining walls, swimming pools, arboring, like I said, yeah.
So if anybody out there wants to give kind of like Etnom Spray the opportunity to kind of like handle their sanitation as well as pest control, what is the best way to get in contact with you?
You can email me at Monterro or boydmo@outlook.com, or you can call me at 404-372-3142. I do have Instagram. I do have Twitter. You can just look up my name, Monterro Boyd, and that's it. That's the best way you can come in contact with me.
Monterro, I want to thank you first for spending some time with us.
Yeah.
I appreciate everything that you shared with us. I actually see a lot of future potential, and I hope this is kind of like just a memory.
Yeah.
And I want to look back on this, and
Yeah.
you're just absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it. If there's anything that I can do for you in the future, please let me know.
Definitely.
All right, and that's the show.